The carriage wheels groaned, churning the sodden earth as we approached Blackwood Manor. A chill, not merely of the autumn air, but of something far older, seeped into my bones. The house stood silhouetted against the bruised twilight, a gaunt sentinel of forgotten eras. Its windows, like vacant eyes, seemed to watch our slow, inevitable approach. I had inherited the estate from a distant, unknown relative, a man whose very existence had been a whispered secret. The solicitor's letter had been brief, almost curt, urging immediate occupancy. A strange condition, I thought, for a property so remote and seemingly desolate. The air grew heavy with the scent of damp earth and decay, a perfume of forgotten things. A profound silence enveloped the grounds, broken only by the rustle of dead leaves and the distant, mournful cry of an unseen bird. It was a silence that felt less like an absence of sound and more like a presence itself. My first night was a tapestry of disquiet. The old timbers of the house seemed to sigh and creak with a life of their own. Each groan echoed through the vast, empty chambers, amplifying the sense of my solitary existence within its ancient walls. I found myself listening, straining to discern patterns in the house's nocturnal symphony. A persistent, faint scratching began to emanate from behind the wainscoting in the library. It was too rhythmic for vermin, too deliberate for settling wood. It sounded like fingernails, or perhaps something harder, dragging slowly across a rough surface. The sound would cease abruptly if I moved, only to resume moments later. Then came the cold spots. Patches of air, intensely frigid, would drift through rooms, lingering for a moment before dissipating. They carried with them a faint, almost imperceptible scent, like dust disturbed from a long-sealed tomb. It was a sensation that raised the hairs on my arms, a palpable intrusion. The whispers began on the third night. They were indistinct, like voices carried on a distant wind, just beyond the threshold of comprehension. They seemed to emanate from the very fabric of the house, from the walls themselves, a low, sibilant murmur that spoke of secrets. I would hold my breath, trying to decipher their meaning, but they always remained just out of reach. Objects would shift. A heavy, leather-bound book left on the table would be found on the floor. A porcelain doll, placed carefully on a mantelpiece, would be discovered facing the wall. These were not the tricks of a draft or an unsteady surface. They were deliberate, unsettling rearrangements. The feeling of being watched became constant, a prickling sensation on the back of my neck. I would turn suddenly, expecting to see a shadow, a form, but there was never anything. Only the oppressive stillness of the house and the lingering sense of an unseen gaze. It was as if the very air had eyes. One evening, the scratching intensified, becoming a frantic scrabbling. It led me to a hidden panel behind a tapestry in the master bedroom. My fingers trembled as I pried it open, revealing a narrow, dust-choked cavity. The air within was thick with the scent of decay, far stronger than anything I had encountered before. Inside, nestled amongst crumbling plaster and ancient cobwebs, lay a small, tarnished locket. As I touched it, a wave of profound sorrow and despair washed over me, so potent it brought me to my knees. The whispers in the walls surged, no longer indistinct, but a chorus of anguished cries. The house was not merely old, it was a vessel of torment. The scratching, the cold, the whispers, they were not tricks of the mind. They were the echoes of a life, or perhaps many lives, trapped within its very stones. Blackwood Manor was not just a house. It was a tomb, and I, its newest occupant, was now part of its eternal, chilling narrative.